the activation of the higher consciousness that is happening upon the planet and the awakenings. When we raise our frequency and when we're in that higher vibration within the space and time here on the earth, that's when the manifesting happens. You're expanding not just the planet, but you're expanding, and we are collectively feeding the consciousness.
What do you feel the world would look like once we all activate our cosmic self?
I see cosmic beings. The earth, I feel, is going to look like this cosmic or galactic celestial community. And to me, it's going to be beautiful because the vibrations, the colors, everything's going to change.
Keleena Malnar, welcome back on Just Tap In. What are you most excited about right now globally and in your life?
As always, it's who I am with in the present moment, which is you, Emilio. I love saying your name. And globally, I'm going to say the activation of the higher consciousness that is happening upon the planet and the awakenings that I am observing and the evolution of humanity that I am seeing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
We're in a moment now. We're in a moment, a present moment that we've all been waiting for.
And on a personal level, you just moved from 2 sacred spaces. You're in a new background from our last conversation. What's been going on the personal level?
I am. So I manifested a place in Kauai, in Lemuria, because I finished my work in Sedona. The previous place I was somewhere 4.5 years. Sedona, it was 4.5 years. I didn't figure that out until I was here, and I was like, "How long am I going to be here?" And then I realized, 4.5 years exactly. 4.5 years exactly. Am I going to be here 4.5 years? So I was told while I was in Sedona, Mother Sedona said, and I call her Mother because she's very feminine in the vortex and the frequency I was in there. She said, "Your work here is complete, Keleena, and it's time for you to go." And so I put it out to the universe. I contacted a friend that's here, and within 3 days, boom, I had a place to go. Within less than 30 days, I was gone. So manifestation, right? It's how it works. You see yourself in that space and place, in that reality, and in that other frequency, and boom, you're gone. New timeline.
What does that tell you about quantum jumping and different parallel realities that you maybe have been experiencing lately?
I have been experiencing, it's so funny that the word drastic came in, but that's not the right word. I've been experiencing, it's so funny, my guides are talking to at the same time. This always happens to me. They're saying double shifting. But being in this space and place in the now, but then being here at the same time, and then coming back and being here at the same time. And it's interesting, last night I was like thinking about this, not thinking about it, but being in the moment with it. And what they were showing me is each time, like I had this thing that happened to me here one morning where I got up because I heard the doorbell ring. And I was like, "Oh, doorbell's ringing, better go get it." And I get up and it's dark, and I'm like, "Who's at the house?" And I was supposed to have the person who cleans the house and takes care of the property coming that day. I'm like, "Oh, she's really early." And I sat up and I'm like, "Wait, it's dark out, shouldn't it, no, that's not the right time." I'm like, "And this house doesn't have a doorbell. There's no doorbell here." And I'm like, "Okay." So I'm going back to sleep. I'm like, maybe that was in the dream. Went back to sleep, maybe 20 minutes. And then I hear a knocking on the door, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get up. She's here. And the sun was coming up. I'm like, oh, she's here. Get out of bed. Nobody's here. And I'm like, okay. But I kept waking up when I was hearing this and going. I was waking up in a white room that was a little different than this one. But then I would physically have my eyes open in this one. If I closed my eyes, I was in the other one. And I'm like, what is going on? But she wasn't here. It was just sunrise. She wasn't supposed to be here till 8. So I'm like, I need to collect back down. What's going on? Happened again. Finally, I'm like, I'm going to stay up. I'm going to stay up. I don't know what's going on here. I heard knocking again. And I thought I heard a voice say, hello. And I'm like, I'm going to stay up this time because obviously somebody's trying to wake me up. So when I was thinking about this again, there's a number 6 in the sky right now. Huge number 6. That has to do with this year of balance. Talk about that later. Anyways, when I was tuning into this last night, what they were showing me is we have these different times. Like we have these parallel realities or this quantum jumping, and we can be in the space in between. And I'm like, okay, so we're in the space in between. What is that meaning? And my guides have been talking to me. I wrote part of this in the book I'm working on, is that we are living in the space within time. So it's not that we're living in time, we're living in the space within time. So we can be in many different places in the space within time. But we can also be in space outside of time. And so when they showed me that, time is linear, right? So time is an earthly thing. So if we're in the space outside of time, we're outside of Earth. And all these things are still happening at once, right? So you're coming in, you're experiencing, all these different quantum jumping, these different revelations, the different parts of the soul's evolution at once, but it's all happening in the space. In one space. But if this is making sense, it's parallel realities, it's quantum jumping, timelines are only on Earth, they showed me. And I know that because I taught that years ago, so time is connected to Earth. So when we raise our frequency and when we're in that higher vibration within the space in time here on the Earth, that's when the manifesting happens. That's when all of these different things that have happening to us at these different levels are occurring. So that's why I kept getting up, because the frequency I was waking up in the other timelines was the same frequency as the one here in Kauai, which for me, I'm very connected to Lemuria. So that's what was happening. I kept waking up in space, in the space within the times in Lemuria that I have been here before, or the other timelines that I am currently on, or because there is no past or future, it's all happening at once, right? So I saw 3 different versions at the same time, but in the space. And you know how we were talking earlier about how, I hear you, the guides are saying the disillusion of the illusion is ending. I talked about that years ago as well, but we're at that point now, right? We're at that space and place. They're going to keep going on the space and place because they want people to understand that the place that you are within and the space that is within time, and you're holding yourself here, and you're in this process in your evolutionary cycle, as all of this is occurring within you, it's occurring outside of you. So it is occurring all at once for you to see with the eyes of the heart, to know that you're in your truth, and to be in your inner wisdom. You cannot connect to your inner wisdom without being in your truth, and truth is love. So when you are here in this space, This is your space. The physical body is held here in linear time through gravity. You are in an evolutionary cycle of learning and remembering how to advance yourself through frequency and vibration. In this space and place is where all exists in love, in purity, in joy, and you may say in procession or evolution. It is here that all return in their connection to Source, to the One, to allow their evolutionary cycle to move them forward with all that they know, leaving behind that which is no longer necessary in the present moment. Natimu turnyarashtama kiana naski ama ira naya. It's going to be one of those days.
One of those podcasts.
And they're like right there, and then all of a sudden, that's my life, though. Ooh,
Yeah.
was that
Beautiful.
understandable? Because I'm like super high right now.
Yeah. It's so interesting because last episode we talked about the golden doors are now open. And really to go even further in that, and you actually pulled a card before this episode that I don't know if you want to put it up on the screen right now while we're talking, but I'm curious to know, where do those doors lead? You know, when someone sees the golden doors, a golden opportunity open up, as maybe not just individually, but for humanity, if we have a golden opportunity in front of us, what would you say to someone that is willing to walk through the door?
First of all, it's your choice. And the reason I say that is because so many people that will come to you and say, I have this opportunity, what should I do? They'll go to somebody else to find the answer. I don't believe that you need to go to someone else to find the answer. Your answer is here. So I always tell them to drop in the heart and feel if that golden opportunity is for you. You're going to know. Your body's going to respond to it 100%. That's how I taught. I think I taught that on the last interview. We go into our heart and we ask. But if those golden doors are showing up for you in an opportunity that is golden, that is like your higher self. That is spirit saying, we're presenting this to you. Again, it's your choice to walk through. And here's the one thing that I want to say. Some people may feel like in their ego perception of their self that they're not ready for something. And if they feel that, then that's fine. They can pull back. But if you trust in the divine and all that you are, that the divine is bringing that to you, you're going to walk through. Me personally, watch out. Keleena's coming through. I would go through. That's my own choice because I've learned to trust. And when we learn to trust in all that we are being delivered, that is aligned with us, that is aligned with our frequency, that is aligned with our vibration. We are not going to be given something by our higher self that's going to take us down the wrong path. Ever.
Yeah. if it's a choice to walk through those doors, what would you say is the choice that we're being presented with as a golden opportunity for the collective, for humanity as a whole, where we are right now?
Mm-hmm. The choice is taking everyone into the new earth within the self, your new universe within yourself that changes the vibration, the frequency of yourself and everyone around you. It helps to shift that collective consciousness, bringing everything back into the unified, I'm getting unified field. We're whole when we come here, but then you lose yourself along the way. So it's almost like that golden door's opening to bring you back into the wholeness that you already are. So when we come back in with that opportunity, it's your part of your evolutionary cycle. And in that evolutionary cycle, we understand that we're all one. So if we're all going to move through these golden doors, then we're going to be vibrating at that next level together, right? Remember, it's always going to be the vibration and frequency that you are attuned to and that you're supposed to be at in this moment, because everybody's going through their process differently and everyone's in a different space and place. Everyone. So there will be groups like star families that are going to be going through, or like soul families that'll be collectively going through at the same time. Boom. If they're all making that choice, boom, they're bringing a frequency. And get this, I just heard they're bringing a tone with their vibration. Isn't it interesting, the bells out there, the chimes?
The rooster.
There's a whole lot going on here.
There's a whole farm around Keleena right now.
The wild roosters on the land. There's the chimes in the tree. So it's a shifting of the frequency for the planet. And the expansion of the light and the growth that will occur when everyone makes their choice. And the reason I am using choice is because people always talk about how, life is about choices. And yes, there's choices at the third dimensional level. There's choices at the higher frequency. Fourth dimension, to me, I see as a healing dimension. When people wake up and they start going through a healing. Fifth dimension is that higher consciousness. Then you have sixth dimension. You just keep going up to the different frequencies. Angelic, the light beings, the different star families. And as I keep getting this word proceeding. I'm going to use evolving. I'm going to tell them evolving through this cycle. You're expanding not just the planet, but you're expanding, and we are collectively feeding the consciousness. We're collectively feeding as well. This is interesting what they're showing me. All of those that are pillars of light on the planet that are all networked and doing this work, there's different star family members all over from different points of origins. So you're collectively feeding that network of beings that are here, which would be humans. You're collectively feeding that through the grid, through that crystalline grid, but also through that pillar. We feel each other, and you light up even more. So if somebody's dragging behind, what they're showing is that person's going to start elevating to match that level as well. Oh, so beautiful what they're showing me. It's almost like so no one is left behind. Interesting. And these are those that have come here with this blueprint and with that inner technology that made the decision before they came that is what they are going to be doing. Etherically, but also consciously. Some are not very conscious of it, some are extremely conscious of it. So everyone's different.
What have you received around the code of 144,000?
So I had brought that through in a hypnosis that I was under. That 144,000 is an awakening code. Gosh, I think that was like 8 years ago. It's an awakening code of 144,000, and you look at it in like sacred geometrical forms of 144,000 versions of yourself. It's it's wild. And I remember when I had that hypnosis, they were showing me your 12 original, I can say archetypes of yourself. And then it expands then to the 24 and then the 36 and the 48 and it keeps going to 144. And then I was shown that you can have the 144,000 versions of yourself online all at once, but they're not all going to be here. They're going to be in other planets and other star systems, other galaxies. And are they all on at once? Consciously, I don't know, but I feel like they're saying they can be. Hold on one second. Let me see what the guides are saying. They're saying it's relevant to have all on if there's a deep healing that needs to occur within that specific individual. It gives the opportunity for that soul's evolution to be living in many different timeline structures or out of time to assist with the evolution to help bring, like a quicker pace. That's what they're showing me. Because they're literally showing like a spinning and the person's going up faster. But if they turn off half of them, then it's a slower process. Because what's going on is your soul is still on the other, in those other lives, are going through and have that same, every one of these lives has the same goal, they're showing me, of unifying that soul and lifting that soul to its highest vibration and frequency. And it has to do with sacred geometry. They keep showing me sacred geometry. I asked if anyone has all 144 online right now. They said not at this time. So if we don't have all 140, then we must be doing pretty good, right? It's not necessary right now, they said. It's not necessary. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But it is an awakening code when you hear the number and you see the number.
Yeah, and numbers can also be translated into even further like sacred geometrical patterns. And I'm curious to know if there's a link between the shape of the icosahedron with the activation of the earth.
Did I tell you about that?
Yes. In private. We're bringing it out.
Okay. Yes. So that's when I had this big crystal skulls that I was gifted by someone. And those skulls took me, their keys, they took me in to Gaia. And there's this huge diamond center core. And it literally, I want to explain this so people will be able to flow with it more. There's this portal door, and I've told, there's a handful of people that have heard this. Maybe in my Patreon members. This was a while ago. So that portal door that opened on that diamond, when I went in, and I was surrounded by angelics when I did this, and I went in through that portal door, and Gaia created herself in looking like a goddess form, a feminine form, inside this diamond core. And she said, "Keleena, I've been waiting for you." And I was like, Gaia?
What's up, girl?
That's true. But she gave me this biggest hug, and all this started happening. And it was the wildest thing what I was seeing in there. It was like I keep taking it to in Disney in Florida. There's that big globe looking thing in one of the, I don't know what you call the different parks, but it looks like a huge round sphere, and it has triangles all over it. And that sphere there. So if you Google it later and see, or tomorrow, it's what it looked like inside of there. And I was looking at it and I was like, what is this? And so we went and she made us an elixir. Drink the elixir, and she goes, I've been waiting for you. Do you have that? Do you have the, I can't remember what she called it right this moment, what she needed. And that's when I said, Icosahedron. And she was like, oh, that's it. And she went to the center of the core on this, like, I don't know what it was. Almost looked like a table came out of the ground with, but it was like see-through. It was like, vibration. There you go. Okay, it's vibrating. So this light, this blue and green light came up. She put her hand on it and she said the word out loud. And when she said that, everything in there shifted. They were like windows to the outside, to everything happening on the earth. And that was 2019 this happened, because then 2020 happened just after that. Now I'm remembering. And it would show up in the windows at the places where destruction was occurring, of where there was dark energy and that kind of stuff. And so the Icosahedron, it has I had a download on what that's for at another level. Oh goodness, I wonder if I'm going to remember it right now, if we're going to bring it in. It has something to do with the core unit. The vibration.
Yeah, and there was a recent download also that you sent me that was around these codes activating in frequency for the planet. I was wondering if that shape had to do something with the new sound codes that Gaia herself, the Earth, is emitting for humanity.
Yes. I'm getting a big yes. She's coming through right now. Yes. 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 And we can touch on that. Well, that was in April that happened, that download. And so because I do so much in the moment, and I sent you that because I was just like, I need to give it to you. But it's about, there's the obstacles that are being removed on the planet, and what a lot of us were here to do. And to complete the removal of the obstacles, to bring the planet, even though Gaia is doing her own thing, we are assisting her as pillars of light to help the new building process. Because everything that's going down now is making that space. As it's being released, it's releasing the old to allow the new. So we're in this space and place now where the creation cycle is happening. Even though it may look to others kind of scary what's happening on the planet, we know behind the scenes that has to happen. That has to be released. We have to see the duality and polarity that's always been here, so that you release it within yourself. And it's happening through you anyway. You're the ones that are helping to release it. So as this is happening and you're released within yourself, we are in new creation mode within ourselves. We are building our new structure within us, our new earth within us, to create that new earth outside of us. And so as that's happening, and we want that full new construction to happen, there's still those parts of us that have to come online that allow the technology that's within us to fully activate. And they're saying, and it's innovative. I don't know that word. We are innovative technology. We are meant to do these things. And then everything that we're doing as humans, with the sounds, the light, the frequency, the vibration, everything that's coming in from the cosmos is activating our crystalline being. And I'm seeing the center core. like the hairline, just lighting up and expanding. I'm seeing the cells within everyone's body lighting up and expanding. So as that's happening and we're up leveling, we're having that cosmic connection and that cosmic alignment with our star families and the cosmic self. For those that have not had that yet, come online with this. And really quick, I don't want to go off the subject, but I want to explain that really quick, because in 2017 I had that, and now I'm having clients that are having this or experiencing it now. And I said, I think on your last show, that this was important this year. And it's going to feel like, I know people call it calibration, recalibration, I call it that as well. All of your chakras. I'm not talking about the 7, the 9, 12, 14, whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about all 200 plus chakras in your body coming online at once. Like zzz, and you feel it, your whole body. When that happened for me, I felt the rotation everywhere. I felt my tongue, my lips had their own, my tips of my nose, above the lip, everywhere. The eyes were spinning, ears were spinning, every finger was spinning, pulsing and throbbing, and my feet and my toes, everything. That's your cosmic self coming online. I've just a few days ago had another person say, I don't know what's happening. What is this? And my whole body's, and I'm like, oh, that's your cosmic self. Here it is. And so for our star cosmic families to come to us at night and help us to restore the knowing of who we are and activate those cell memories and that parts of us, it's allowing us to move to that higher frequency and the versions of ourself that we know that we are and have always been. So those are coming on. We've done that for thousands of years. So if we're going to go into the sound, the vibration, they have talked about, as we're building, as we are increasing our frequency within ourselves, and Gaia is increasing her frequency within herself, it's associated with her heartbeat. It's associated with the shaman. So the more of us that come online with that sacred heart and that cosmic flow, that cosmic influx of the cosmic mother, the earth mother, divine mother, within here, the sacred heart's online with everything. Our soul, what should we call it? Attunement is shifting, and we have our own frequency, we have our own sound. And when we're vibrating at that sound and being that level of light, it's helping on the grid. It's helping with the building on the grid. It's allowing those that have perceived things in an ill way to come back into the truth of who they are. So we're here to rebuild or build the new and bring back the alignment through bypassing the civilizations and going back to the original blueprint. We are building that original blueprint. We are opening to that, and we are building it within ourselves. It has to happen within ourselves first so that it can happen outside of us. So as I'm getting the visions and talking about, this is different than the download that I sent you. It's the same thing, but it's different words, because when I download, it's like my cosmic self writes that or whatever, or talks that. So I'm seeing it. So I'm gonna, if it's okay, I want to look at that note, because yes, we're here to complete the sound system. So if we have the original blueprint of Gaia, and she had her own sound system and frequency, right? Because it's connected to frequency, and those connect to through all of the star mappings, through the pyramids, through all of these places where we had the sacred sites online, Gaia had her frequency running through there, and it connected off the planet to the other planets. They all connected as a network across the globe. And when I was in Egypt, the woman, Nala, that was our guide, I said to her in 2023, I said, Nala, you know, some of us can see inside the earth. And I told her what I saw under the pyramids. I said I was given coordinates of different rooms under the pyramids. I was shown the different rooms. I was showing how it conducts energy. When I touched that, what they call the sarcophagus in there, all I got was downloads of codes. Like galactic coding coming in and encoding coming in. And then I saw the whole grid lights up. It's the frequency. So it was conducting energy, but it was also conducting frequency that holds things in a space and place. And it held humanity in that higher space and place until we misused it. And then it started to have to shut down. Like things, you know, right when I said that, I literally heard like something just go like they shut it down right in my ear. So she messaged me just recently. She's like, Keleena, you need to come work with these people. Tell them all the places that you saw things. Every time we went somewhere, I told her, I said, yeah, and this had this, and this had this, and under the Sphinx was this. And she was like going, how do you remember? You do remember that stuff. So the sound frequency adjustments are restructuring through us. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to move ourselves into our own personal vibration, our own personal soul code and soul sound. It's a sound, and our sacred voice carries that. So those that are using sound instruments on the earth right now, they have the memories of what sound does, of how it heals, of how it holds vibrations and frequency, and how it assists animals, humanity, plants, anything that is a soul being. It helps it to expand its field, its light. It helps things to grow. It helps to align. So we all have that within us, and we will remember it. We are our own musical note. That's what I keep getting. We are our own musical note. And then there's those of us that can bring those sounds through to help with healing. So it is a collective ability that humanity has going forward. And during the times, so if you look at the equinox,
truth. The rooster knows. He's in alignment. He resonates.
Throws me off. So during the times of like the equinoxes and those, that space within time on the planet is when we knew to utilize our frequency, our sacred voices, and come together in these spaces. And you can either tone, you sing, whatever it is that you've chosen to do as a collective voice, and it raises their frequency and it shifts things to the next level, and it shifts and it shifts. And so you shift with it. We are powerful beings, and all this stuff has been shut down inside of us, and now it's time to bring it back. It's time to align with your frequency.
Yeah. Keleena, what do you feel the world would look like once we all activate our cosmic self and find our inner song, our own musical tone that we carry? What would shift on the planet, really? Hello, beautiful family. Quick one today. I just wanted to take a moment to thank each and every one of you that have subscribed to this channel. Your subscription means more than you know. Even though it's free, what you're doing is you're empowering a whole channel to be able to do this every single day and continue showing up in the way that we can with all of our resources on hand. Thank you for contributing to the growth of this channel, for sharing it with the people that you love, for creating a conscious movement of individuals that are seeking the sovereignty and the divinity of their soul. This is why we're here. And if you haven't already and you're enjoying this content, I invite you now to look below on that little button that says subscribe and welcome you properly to this community. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being who you are and being pure love and radiating that with everyone that you see. Back to the episode.
I think it would be amazing. My own perception of that reality is everyone walking around authentically as who you are, and doing what you know that you can do without judging yourself, saying, I can't do it, I can't do it. I see cosmic beings. I see, you know what, like, you know, when you see a lot of I'm going to say like the younger generation, they've got their hair all different colors, the beautiful colors, pinks and purples and blues and greens. That's because they remember their star origin. There's a massive line in the sky right now, so Lyra's coming in. I have to tell you that for whatever reason. But the Earth, I feel, is going to look like this cosmic or galactic celestial community. And to me, it's going to be beautiful because the vibrations, the colors, everything's going to change. When I wake up here in the morning, and I've been telling people on my Patreon, I think I said on one of my YouTube videos, I wake up in the frequency of Lemuria. I'm matching it, okay? And I need prescription glasses to drive, to see far away. But when I wake up in that frequency, I can see every leaf on the tree through my window that's far away. I can see every blade of grass when I walk outside. I go outside first thing. I walk, I'm like, oh, look, I can see everything. This is like, oh, this is amazing. And when I'm doing that, I'm noticing that everything, the color is so different. It's so much more than what it is when you're not in that frequency. It's like expanded, and I can see the little edges of the light around it. Oh, and I also have this little, are they geckos? They're green. Yeah. He came and sat next to me, and I put my teacup down and there was cinnamon and he started licking the bowl. I put it on my Instagram story the other day. I'll put it on my regular Instagram. But he started expanding his colors. So normally they turn the color of what they're sitting on, right? They would turn brown. The step is brown. But he turned as green as can be, and he had blue, and he had like orangey red on him, and he had this different green, and he was like illuminating all these colors. And I'm like, looking at this little being as he climbed into my teacup.
You're like, show off. Why are you showing off?
Started helping himself to the cinnamon. But I'm like, look at those colors. And so he was showing me he matches the frequency as well. So the earth, when we are in our highest vibration, our highest frequency of all that we are bringing what I call heaven to earth, the frequency of that, the vibration of that, where you can manifest anything that's aligned for you. It needs to be aligned for you. If it's not aligned for you, it's not going to happen. I've found that, and I've been teaching it for a long time. You have to have that alignment to you when you're trying to manifest. And you don't have to go chasing it. So many people are, I'm going to write this down 50 million times, and I'm going to do all these things. I'm like, no, put it out to the universe. See it, feel it. And I know there's someone else that's teaching that somebody said to me, it's one of the older gentlemen that does more science stuff that woke up.
Joe Dispenza?
Is it Joe?
Probably. I mean, that sounds up his alley.
Joe or Greg or one of them. Because I was doing that stuff long before I even heard of them. I was never allowed to see anything or listen to anyone's stuff. So, and I still don't unless someone sends me something. Can you listen to this a little bit? And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's good. Or, well, find your own information. Feel it yourself. I like people to get themselves. But we just have to see it. We have to feel it. And when I knew that I had to come here, I said, I want it to be in a space and place where there's land, where I'm not crowded by neighbors like in Sedona. The house was like 30 feet from mine on both sides. It was so close. I was like, I don't want that. I want land. So I'm on 3 acres on the top of a mountain, which is what I wanted. And I'm surrounded by these gardens that are so lush. And the house, I want it to be open and airy. It's open and airy. I want it to be light. It's light. And it's just like, you just have to take yourself into that frequency in that space and place and feeling it in your imagination, seeing it and knowing that's already there, and boom, it's there. So we are going to be these beings on the planet that are just going to be able to tap into what we want and create it just like that, knowing that it's already waiting for us.
What determines the alignment that you talked about?
The alignment always has to do, I've been teaching this in the master classes. Our alignment is connected to who we are, what we're here to do. If you're not in alignment, you will be given obstacles that you will have to go around or take the long road to get to where maybe the ego thinks you're supposed to go, right? Alignment is when information just drops in, things just drop in and you feel it. I say when it drops in from the masculine, right? Drops in higher self, then it's in the masculine mind, drops down into the feminine heart. And from there, if there's an excitement, if there's a peace and calm to it, the body is a tool. The body is saying, this is aligned for you. But if you're getting from the false identity ego, something coming or someone's telling you, this is what you should be doing, that's what you should be doing, and it doesn't feel right in the body, you got the gut going like that, or your heart's going, it's not your alignment, because it's not your vibration, it's not your frequency, it's not for you. So that's why I always teach, listen to the body. The body is a tool that it was Source's idea. Everything's an idea to be able to create from. So if you want to create, pay attention to this. It's so important. This physical body is what helps us to be in the right direction.
And with all these new senses coming online that you described, seeing the leaves, the blades of grass, and really going to those expanded states in our sensation as well, what do you feel it will actually mean to be a human in the coming years as we're all going through these upgrades?
What will it mean to be a human? That's a good question. What will it mean to be a human? Well, what I'm actually receiving is that it will be for us to understand that we are not just human. We are not just a human, but we came here for that experience. And you can be here in that experience, and you can stay in the higher vibration and frequency of what you came to experience. There may be some that are choosing the lower experience, and that's fine. That's going to be where they are. But you will have new things to do, like new choices that you made before you came. They're showing the blueprint. They're just showing a blueprint, like dots. New choices that you've created to participate in as this new human, where we are almost like going back to the original blueprint humans, where telepathy is what we utilized, where the language of light is what we utilize. Language of light is not just speaking it, it's dancing it, it's moving your body, it's using it in art, it's using it in meditation, it's using it in cooking, in planting things. in expanding ourselves as these beings that we may call future human, but in reality, we already were that and are that, and we're removing everything in between. Okay, yeah. Remember how I said the civilizations earlier? They're removing the game so that you can realign with the soul self and the infrastructure, the true infrastructure, without anything getting in the way to try and stop you from being the person that can do all of these things, working with the elements, changing the weather if needed, creating food if needed, bringing forth anything that is in a desire that's in relationship with the true alignment of the self. It's not going to be about what's happening on your planet now. It's not going to be about greed. It's not going to be about all your cars and your homes and your jewelries and money. That future is going to be aligned in that present moment with the origination and the idea of what it would be to come here and be human, move into human form as the God being that you are. The
The
rooster.
rooster is high as well.
So they literally showed humans walking around as that extension of source. I'm being that extension of source, and no longer being trapped into those programs that were implanted. I guess you want to say implanted is the word I'm hearing. Oh, I have to draw something really quick here because this is what they're doing with my hand. They're drawing the markers on the planet. I see, yes. The markers on the planet are very important because in those spaces and places, humanity is susceptible to the frequency where those markers are. And these markers are all over the planet. So like you have, like when I was in Costa Rica, there's massive spheres in Costa Rica. Massive stone spheres. And when I went and touched one, I got the download that there's more of them all over, and that they're markers, just like the pyramids. They're markers on the planet that are correlated with a constellation. So these different continents or different areas have these markers, and they've been hidden. Some of them are in jungles. Unfortunately, the ones in Costa Rica, when I connected with a sister there who's a gatekeeper there, she said, Keleena, they've been moved. People came with big digging things and took them because they wanted to use them for decoration in their lawns. So they have these massive stone structures, spheres, and they put them in their lawns. So they took apart the constellation. So part of the work here on the planet, this is the thing I sent you, is bringing those star maps in those sacred areas back online to their origination. So people that were actually born in those areas, what they were showing me, are connected to that constellation off planet. And so, is that interesting? So if you look at where you were born and what's there, what kind of marker is there? Like I was born in Ohio. There's the Serpent Mound in Ohio. So you would find the star markers. I was also born up by the lake, so there's markers there too. In Costa Rica, she told me, Keleena, I've been on a boat. There is one of them in the ocean, and you could see clear in the water, and you could see this huge marker in the ocean. And so since different things are happening in time, you say, hear you, the water rose, so it covered it up. I've seen that they're in Russia. There's markers in China. Of course, they're in Egypt. They're in the Turkey, I think, that they were finding them. They're in where did they just find those other pyramids? Starts with a B.
Bolivia, Mexico.
Bolivia. Yeah,
Mhm.
so there's also the spheres are there as well. So they're constellation markers that have been placed there. There's no way a human could put them there. They're so big. So we are, a lot of us that are traveling on the earth that are doing this work is to restore using sound vibration frequency. Here we go again. To bring those sacred star maps back online. And so we are the walkers of the star maps. We work and we do that as these cosmic beings. So cosmic beings are going to be really drawn when your cosmic self comes online, when that future human comes online, you're going to be drawn to those places where it could have been a point of origin for you at one time. So when you find yourself going, I need to go there, I need to go there, that's why. Your body is attuned to that map. And not just from just this life.
And when we follow that calling to go to that place, what do you feel is on the other side for a person in terms of the expansion that they could find when they trust that gut intuition of going to that place or talking to that person or doing these things that spirit is in a way downloading to us?
I feel, and what I know from when I've gone to these places, I see, because I can see people's blueprints around them. I see them going through healing. That's within their DNA and within their cell memories. They go through healing first from whatever they may have left behind or something that may have happened to them in the space and time in that civilization. And then if they go and they leave their new soul signature, their new soul blueprint there. Because remember, if you're releasing the old to allow the new, you're going to receive a new frequency. The new part of your it shifts your frequency in your development to allow yourself to be all that you are. So the more you're releasing, the more you're coming online. So if you're healing there from something from the past, but also having cell memories that need to awaken, that bring forth abilities in you that you've utilized, unutilized to be the highest vibrational being that you came to be this time, that's going to happen as well. That's going to occur. But again, you have to let go of the old to allow those things to come online. You have to make the space. There's space again. So, and then you can go back again, because sometimes people get called back again and again and again. And many times you're going back and there you don't feel any healing happening, but what you feel is that you feel now at home. And when you feel at home, it's because that heart connection is there. And it feels good.
Yeah. Some people may not know this, but this conversation almost didn't happen today because you told me that you've been up the last 4 nights transmuting energy for the collective. They've been keeping you up. So I'm curious to know, in what areas do you feel that the collective has needed the most transmutation in? Because we're talking about removing those obstacles. What are we transmuting?
The more everything is happening and shifting and changing on the planet, and people are seeing duality, if they even know that that's what it is, seeing the polarity of things happening as this, and we're calling it the split is occurring. Some are going one way and the others that are awakening are going the other, and it has to do with their consciousness. The ones that are in the awakening state consciousness, there's ones that are, I call the fighters. And they don't want to seek out help. They don't want to know what's going on. They want to stay in their comfort zone, right? They want to stay in what they knew, but they're being forced through what's happening, through the light codes that's coming in, through the immense amount of light that we are receiving, that we have actually had on and off in spurts for many years. This is happening, but right now it's getting more intense. They don't know what to do to change their consciousness, to heal themselves from the beliefs of themselves and the patterns that they've been holding. So there's those on the earth that actually were called transformers, which I find that hilarious because my son had those toys when he was little. I was like,
I had
oh,
him too.
did you? Yeah, you're about the same age. I'm like, oh, we're human transformers. Oh, here goes Lemuria. Everything's changing outside. It's getting really bright. Okay, we're in that frequency. So in order for people to reach the new frequency, they've got to go through healing, but so many of them are turning their backs on it. So we that are here that do this, and we've been doing it our whole life. And when I was small, when I was a child, I was always picking up everyone's stuff, but I didn't know that. And that's why I was always sick. All of a sudden, my throat, all of a sudden, my ears, because, people weren't speaking their truth, or people weren't wanting to hear what the truth is, or wanting to hear something about themselves. Then I would have squeezing on my head. They weren't willing to open up, right? They weren't willing to dive into their divine wisdom. I would have heart pain. Everything. I felt it on my body. I still do that now, but I'm able to understand what it's about. So constantly healing what others are releasing from themselves through almost, I don't want to say it's a forced thing. It's like they're being pushed to release things. And it's the thoughts about themselves, the beliefs, the patterns, the conditions, the programs, their anger. There's anger. There's jealousy, there's violence, there's all of these things. There's the emotions of the people that are running from what's happening. It's actually going through us. So we're transforming it, we're transmuting it, because we're high frequency beings. And the people that are high frequency beings are the ones that are doing it, because we can still be existing and walking and performing, but it's gotten so intense, for whatever reason, the last 4 days, and I know there's other transformers too that are doing this, transmuting these energies so that not only we transcend as a whole, but those individuals will begin that. So that's what we're doing. And it's allowing the collective to keep going up. So we agreed at some point to do this for others through our bodies. And it's painful. It's not easy, let me tell you. Sleepless nights. And days where you're just walking around like going, ow. Put my finger in the socket.
Is that just part of the gig, or are there ways to do this work in a way that isn't taking a toll on our physical body?
If there was, I think that by now I would have figured that out.
Celery juice. It's got to be it.
It's got to be the celery juice. That's funny. That is a really good question, but I have asked so many times. I've said to my guides, I am ending this contract. I don't want to do that anymore. This is painful. And they're like, well, you agreed to it. And I'm like, no, I'm ending it. I'm ending it. But then, a week later, there it goes. I'm like, And I laugh about it because you look at it and you go, okay, what was I thinking up there? I mean, you you don't know that when you come down that you're going to experience pain. But it's not just the certain parts of the body. It's like the whole body goes through an inflammation. The whole body is like feeling this all at once. And it's like, oh, and you can barely move. And it's not yours. Because I can ask, and my body responds and says, no, you're doing this. And then I just hear loud and clear, you're doing it for the collective right now. Just breathe, be on the earth. The best things we can do for people that go through this and don't understand what's happening is to get on the earth, get in the natural waters on the earth. I have crystals everywhere. I've got crystals everywhere. For my whole life, my parents used to have crystals in the house, big ones. So, attuning yourself, using sound, just like we've been talking about, using sound on trying to stay in that higher frequency, so that you can shift it as fast as you can. The only thing is when it happens at night, you wake up in the morning, you're like, ugh, or you're waking up in the middle of the night, you're like, oh no, Can't go for a swim in the ocean right now. But I do walk outside. I'll go outside in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning. But then there's always another reason. It's because I need to see a constellation. I need to connect with a star. I need to become that star. I need to become the frequency or energy of that star. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But we can do that as well.
And not even stars that you see at night, but you were telling me that you're starting to see more and more motherships, extraterrestrial vehicles, whatever we want to call that. Are you feeling that it's becoming more frequent in terms of their connection with us, the star beings, galactic family? Are you seeing more of that in you and also the people that you've worked with?
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing. Well, when I was in Sedona, there are man-made vehicles, but then there's the actual star families, which are so very different because you see the ones that are the star families come in during the day and they cloak themselves. And I remember back 2016 or so, they were telling me how they did it. They create some kind of condensation with the ship that then creates the structure around them of like a cloud formation, but it's moving. It's not like a puffy cloud. There's movement. You'll see it circling. You see the the ship's vibrating, right? It's creating a condensation and there's a movement. You'll see these like lines and rings around that are constantly moving. If it's the mothership, like I showed you earlier, if it's the big ones, they've got the big things, but I've also seen them light up. I will send you the photo of the last one I saw in Sedona. It was massive. It was right in front of my house and it lit up inside the cloud and you could see it. And I'm like, oh, you are showing yourself a little bit more now for people to see this, and so that they can't, please don't be afraid of it, right? The ships that I have seen and connected with are so benevolent. The beings are so benevolent. They're here to help us. But yes, it is happening more and more. They're connecting here on Kauai. I've been to Hawaii before with my kids, and it was here on Kauai as well when both my kids saw a massive ship, massive mothership back in 2019. We were going outside to go, and it was right in front of the house we were staying in. They're like, "Mom, look at that ship." And I was like, wow. We all have pictures of it. And it was lighting up inside the cloud. And so my kids aren't afraid of this. They're in their 20s. They're just like, oh, it's just another thing now. Because, those that are your age are more open to this stuff than people that are having to awaken to it. So they're doing it in stages, in a process, a little bit at a time, so that there's no fear with it.
In our first conversation, we briefly mentioned the diamond children. And I'm wondering if we can circle back around to that topic and go even deeper into what you've received about these diamond children that are coming on more in numbers and greater numbers to, in their own way, assist what we're going through.
Yeah, I just had a conversation with my friend. I had found through Julia Balaz, she does the Galactic astrology. This video came up of her and Denise, and they were talking about the diamond children. I'm like, oh, my grandbaby told me she was a diamond baby. So that came up like 6 months after you and I talked. And a year after she told the grandbaby told me that they're little sacred beings. They're here in their knowing. They don't say no. I mean, they don't bow down to authority. They're not going to. And they're using what I'm seeing as telepathy more than anything. Because what I'm noticing with my grandbaby is she's more about sound. She makes different sounds. Like, ah, 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 ah. She's doing different sounds. She's not using words right now. And the other thing, like I was talking with her about, is that they're not going to talk until they're ready. And like when we were saying is that if that child's being talked to in a manner or that child has nothing to respond to in that way, they're not going to respond. because their little hearts are massively open. They're already the Christed essence that they are. And they're fractalizing everything all the time. That's what I keep seeing is these little beings, these little babies are fractalizing everything around them to try, and they don't know that that's what they're doing. But what I'm seeing is it's like to help shift the frequency of what's happening in the room. They're going to irritate a parent or a grandparent or whoever's watching them because their expanded frequency is going to get under that shadow part that hasn't come forward. They're going to do so much. They're so highly intelligent. They're already highly intelligent. And school's going to bore them. They're going to be very bored. They're not going to want to be there. They don't want to learn the school basic. They're going to just want to be who they are, which I remember talking about the schools, how the schools have to change. So the schools will allow these children to become that. And there is a new school called Open School I just found about a month ago. And that's exactly what this new school is going to be doing. Here we go. Going back to the origination of what, when the children came in, they were here to do. Because the children, I think, I don't know if you saw, I brought through the dragon children, not the dragon children, but they're these like diamond beings through this vision, Lemurian vision on Saturday. It was so profound, and I participated in it. And it's on the YouTube, but these children were holding these eggs. And they were diamond children. They knew exactly what to do. They were gifted these eggs. The whole story's on there. It's too long to go through here. But it's in their knowing. It's in their inner wisdom. And it's already online for them of what they need to do with certain things. They don't have to go think about it. They don't have to research something. And they are going to be very telepathic, and utilization of the language of light is going to be very big with them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, going back to our first conversation toward the end, we went through that light language activation. You said you brought in the voices that heal. And just, it was beautiful hearing, because you were telling me I sometimes don't get to receive like these emails of how it affected people. But you said that a lot came through for people that tuned into that show. What happened with people? Because I feel like we might do another one of those in a few minutes if you're open to it.
Oh, of course. I had so many emails and private messages and stuff with people saying their light language was activated. People received healing. People could feel something release from them, like something they've been holding on to released. Some felt like their frequency shifted. There's a lot of them that know that they had something that was in the mind, like a belief of themselves that they were holding on to, disappeared. So many different things happened. And it's supposed to work that way, because the frequency that comes through me, through the alignment of what needs to be delivered, will help everyone with their inner healing, with their movement forward, because it goes through the DNA at the cell level to awaken any suppressed or dormant codes within you. It's going to bring things up to actually push people also into Kundalini activations and into your light body process. So it's very powerful, and it's all sound. It's light, it's sound, it's vibration, it's the frequency, and everyone will receive it and can re-listen to it again and again, because it's not linear. It doesn't come from time. It comes from space outside of time. It's God codes. They just said it's God codes. And so light language, the language of light, it's a multidimensional language. So that's why my guides call me a language of light master activator, because all of the different multidimensional aspects of myself as well. But I can bring through all the different multidimensional languages, because this is what helps us to become more multidimensional. So if you have someone who has never received it and they receive it and a year later they're like, oh, these things are happening, it's because they've been open to the multidimensionality at a certain level. So that's why I say keep listening to them, or any of my YouTube videos. They will activate something different every single time. Evolution.
Yeah. What are you feeling is needed in this conversation, this transmission, for all of those that are tuning in now, in the future, in the past, outside of time? What do you feel is most needed for us to receive at this moment?
As far as light language, or just...
Yeah.
For what I'm actually hearing is the healing of the mind, like the releasing of how you identify yourself with yourself, rather than who you're identifying. You're not identifying who you truly are, your authentic being. People are locked into still identifying themselves with who they think they are. So that is really important to come in, to let go of the perceptions of the identity of the self and allow the advancement and the innovative technology within the structure to come online at new levels. But please remember that it's mind, body, spirit. The body activations will also bring forth an expansion that will not allow, this is what they're going to bring in, this is what they're saying and showing me, will not allow you to even eat certain foods anymore. Oh, that was another thing. People were saying they couldn't even eat certain foods anymore. Their body was like, no, it was rejecting after the activations, because you're becoming more light. And we're supposed to be eating light foods, foods that are fed from light, foods that grow from light. So it's going to affect that. It's going to affect that. There's going to be more heart expansion, because we still do have the people that are not connected here, that are still within the old structure of the game. That's what they just said. The old structure of the game.
What's the game?
The game of life. The game of the, let's see, how do you want to put this, please? The non-authentic templates that you've lived on, that you may say assisted you in finding yourself. You can continue to stay in that structure and be in that, what you define yourself as, in a structure in what you would call shadow aspecting. Or you can move into the authenticity that you are, where you don't have any need to define yourself through things or materialism. Over here, there's no reason to try and find a definition, because you are living as who you are to be. This is what you all refer to as your split on this planet. Those that are here that know that they are here to live authentically as who they are, as the conscious state of being that's of the highest benevolence. Can you go up and down from it? Of course you can. Can you tap into that side and come back? Of course you can. But if you choose this side, you're still in the field that was created from different points of origin that allowed you to have experiences. And the last experience that's being cleared from the planet now, or experiment, you may call it, the experience within the experiment, was connected to holding on and greed. If you can let go, learn to let go, you will diminish that. You see what's happening on your planet. That last experiment, they are trying to grip onto and hold onto that which needs to be released to be here. You can also see this as the restoration of the balance that needs to occur. There needs to be more on this side, as it's been very weighted on this side. So more are coming here. Higher consciousness, brighter light, authenticity. And the higher this goes, it may repel others. And you are aware of this. It's not purposeful, but yet it is. But not in a way that comes from the ego, but from the centeredness of who you know you are, which is the light and the love of the one. So they're showing the balance symbol, and they're showing how the balance symbol was thicker on that side than the white one, and how more needs to come this way to have that creation. Oh, and that's this year is the number. This year is a year of restoring the balance within the self. That's that video that I have. It's like 2 hours for 2025. And it has to do with you restoring your balance and your structure and coming into balance. And you can possibly have 6 different persons on the planet that assist you with this. I had that come through in a channeling way back in 2016 and someone was interviewing me. You can have 6 different individuals, or you can have just one, that will help you to restore the balance within yourself by being a divine reflection to help you get there. And that's why the 6 showed up before.
And when they talk about restoring the balance, do they mean when we're talking about masculine and feminine energy?
Yeah.
So it was thicker on the masculine side, and now we're balancing it with the feminine frequency.
Right. And absolutely. And well, that we've got that card today with the cosmic mother, divine cosmic mother's womb. A lot of my work has been with the feminine, the cosmic mother, the earth mother, all the mothers that have been here, Hathor, Isis, they've all, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, they all have that feminine, beautiful feminine, divine energy that they've actually been targeted at and demeaned, and had that taken away from their character. But they weren't harsh individuals. They carried that frequency of love. They were all connected in the Sacred Heart for what they needed to do. And so we have to, within ourselves, drop here. The false identity ego is more of that patriarchy energy. When you get out of that, who you're identifying yourself as that way, and you drop into the divine mind, that's the divine masculine. And dropping into the Sacred Heart is the divine feminine, which is our connection to source. And you activate, when you bring that into balance, you activate your sacred voice as the Christ child that you are. Christed child. Christed is enlightened. That's what that means. Before someone goes and puts a comment out there about something. Yeah, it's true. So this is where it is coming from. It is the uplifting and the rising of the feminine energy within every single person on this planet, man and woman. It doesn't matter. That's why, like your generation, a lot of you have, a lot of the masculine already have that feminine within them that's in balance. Where it's really hard for the men on the planet, the older generations, to do that because they've been so programmed not to be feminine. My son is like, he's like a big loving angel. He's got this energy. He reminds me so much of you and you of him. That's why when I'm like, he's just like my son.
Would love to meet him.
Oh yeah, he's so sweet. A 6'4" giant, big angel with a diamond baby. But anyways, and my daughter, which is funny, she's only 5'4", she had to bring a little bit more masculine in to be able to, she's a double Aquarius, to be here for freedom, to be independent. She's here to help move humanity into the Aquarian age in that way. And that women bringing a little bit more of their power into themselves, right? Being aligned in your power. And my son is for the masculine, bringing their feminine in and being more of trust and love and the divinity that human male is supposed to have within the self. So I see what they're both doing, and they both get along great. They both get along so good. Together, they're crystals. They're crystal kids. And together, they're high vibing, laughing. It's crazy. It's they're in their mid-20s, just like you. And it's beautiful to see the reflection. They're my reflection, right? Because everyone is your reflection in some way. So I see the story through my children and now the grandbaby, how it's evolving.
Beautiful. I would like to bring through the voices that heal for a moment, if you feel called to bring that through for us today, and really anchor in all the codes, not just with what we've been talking about with words, but bringing in through light language and sound, and really helping us calibrate with everything that we've been talking about.
Let's do that.
Let's do it.
And then when you pass out tonight. Okay. So as I always instruct everyone, I can say out loud, I now align and drop into my divine sacred heart. And for those that feel energy, they will feel the heart expansion. And just have your hands, palms facing up on your lap. Be open and ready to receive. And take a deep breath in through the nose, into the belly, until the shoulders roll back, and out the mouth. Allow yourself to receive from my heart to yours the codes of light of all that is you, in the highest frequency and highest vibration, in unconditional love and benevolence. Kapua ana manani anakia, tashkiaras tamora, naya. Stania rastania makio fo liantana amu ko katiara stana mirastan yorotukuane Kiki asha, akua ma'anaki, shira, niania sukuturi aneshu. Hey! Ha na 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 ya ya ya. Shoo! Wama huma, kuriatuma, hinna sataku. Kiki Amoene nekika al shushu la. Chakina sa totoy na makitene shikida kieto kurukutu pa ka o yai. Na ahufuy na katekira shikadekate koy na nasi. O tago 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 tik 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 tak tok tok. Release. Shy. Open. Hey, naka oya na batatoya na tataya na hoya na mo hoya na hey na ya na hey na ya hey ko na ko ka na oh no Nastamana katana yarstuna makranto nyana katan yarastene kirakataya nanaya Mastem miara kontu miara skotam punya utaleyantam hamka Shanamashtikiraste, Sharost Umrostema, Skotorst Kirast Amad Ene, Sheshiki Ima Or, Shakatarast Era, Niki Ut Amora, Amora Maya, Mariam Nekiatest Kyo O, Shak O E A Hoi A, Shanda Stem Unna Marache. And unte Mari. Light the fire of the passion within. Know the courage and strength in which it brings. Unaligned to your sacred self. Kakyaho matutash maya. In sacred grace, we are all that is, as I am. May your authentic self and all the versions of your highest beingness come online. And may you release that which no longer serves. Nachona makiatesh imia aima amor. Adana maruto nirahawa merium nami. Atana makia ashutamaya. I am. All is well. And the divinity of all that you are. and in the oneness that we are. Akia, Amora, Amai, Akua, Ama. Eternal love, eternal light, eternal life. Maya Kita, Maya Art. Naribosens. Breathe. Allow the expansion within the physical through all your bodies. Your light body expanding, clearing your field, your aura, all the way up to your quantum field. Shamakua Namana Aki. You are the key to your internal and external existence. Amoria Maya. Through your sacred heart. Activate divine frequency now. And breathe. Just allow yourself to feel in that breath, that physical body again. Coming back into the body with every breath. And saying out loud and focusing on your lower spine, I am grounded.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Keleena, from the heart. That's just pure magic. Pure magic.
I'm super high.
Me too, and everyone who's tuning in, welcome back to planet Earth. I'll be your tour guide.
That's good.
That's from a friend of mine. I just met him over the weekend. He said that doing some work, and we're back on Earth. We're back on Earth, and allowing those activations to really run through our system and do their necessary work in medicine. So really honoring you, Keleena, for making yourself available and a vessel for that pure source consciousness to run through. And it's truly such a gift for all of us to experience.
And thank you for allowing me to be here to bring it to humanity and to everything that's listening, including the animals. The animals will receive it too. And I do want to say what the stuff we were talking about earlier with the connection to the toning and the tuning and the work that we're doing to raise the frequency and the sounds and all of that stuff. Everybody has that. I will put that download in writing. I can actually give it to you too if you want to have it in the description.
We can put it down in the comments. Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. I
So
would love
that
to
way
put that
people
there.
can pick up more of the activation of that. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And also in the comment section, we activate each other. So I'd love to hear what everyone experienced, whether they comment below or send you an email, send me an email. We
Mhm.
would just really love to hear your experiences because we're all activating and co-activating together. So it's
Mhm.
really beautiful that we're doing this as a collective. Even though we can't see each other right now, we're feeling each other, and I can feel almost every single person that tunes in. I receive your questions, I receive everything. So
Yes.
it's so beautiful. And in the true Just Happen podcast fashion, we end every show with a segment called the final trio. Before that, Keleena, I would love to give you the space to let everyone know where they can find you, anything else that you would like to mention, and we'll send people your way.
So high. My hands are burning. Like I'm burning up right now. Yes, they can just go to my website, Keleena Mal. Oh, my name. That's so
Yeah,
nice. It's going to be on the other side when you post it.
yeah.
I know Zoom does it. So they can just go to my website. I'm on social media, and there's a Patreon. I am working on events coming up. They're not posted yet. And more sessions will be opening. I'm so super high. I'm trying to stay here at the same time. And I have a
We can have
YouTube.
a water break. We can have a little water, tea, cacao break.
Yeah. Yes. Mm. I do have a YouTube where they can receive, all the videos have activations in them that will constantly, so they can subscribe to that. It's free stuff. Um, and a Patreon. But I always just say, just go to the website. You can find everything there. I
Beautiful.
never push my stuff. I'm just not like that. I'm just like, if they need it, they're going to come, right? You
Yeah.
attract that which you're aligned to. So
Mm.
I will do more immersive events coming up. I actually just posted Portugal, Glastonbury, Kauai. Which ones do people want to go to? And so it's in the process of people voting right now. So we'll see.
Well, there's something special happening in Portugal. I was just
Mhm.
there over the weekend with Robert Grant, and just the amount of people. Apparently, there was a prophecy left by a famous Portuguese writer, Fernando Pessoa, and he talked about the Fifth Empire and how that is a prophecy where we're bringing in this new consciousness, and a lot of it will be birthed through Portugal. So it was really special to be there and learn all about that. So
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
yeah, I'll
So,
plant the
of course,
seed
that,
with
yeah, I'm
Portugal.
glad you're planting it. Plant all those little seeds. And everybody that's listening to this, don't forget to click the little button for Emilio. I have to say
Thank you. Thank you.
so,
Appreciate
yeah,
that.
it's always important. Always important. And I need to say that I'm watching you evolve, and it's just amazing what you're doing. I don't get to watch your shows because I have to stay in my own information. But there's people that I see coming on, and I can get like 5 minutes, and I'm like, oh, yay, that's fantastic. Um, but you, my love, are just expanding, and you're like this gentle giant that's so balanced in your feminine and masculine, as I see you behind the scenes and here. You're not any different. You're being your authentic self, and you're growing with it as well. And that is what everyone is going to be becoming. So thank you for who you are and for being here authentically. Keep shining your
Thank you.
light through your language.
Yeah, I received that fully, Keleena. I see you. And thank you for being a dear sister on this path and helping us walk all each other home, which is your mission, helping people remind themselves of home. And even through the sounds that I was just listening to, that a lot of that felt like home. Like I know this sound. This is familiar to me. So it's so special to get those reminders and those remembrances once in a while and remember
Mhm.
who we are. So I'll go ahead and ask you the final three questions that I have for you. You can answer in any way that you want. The first one is, if a diamond child listens to this 100 years from now, what would you want them to remember about this moment in human history?
That they were part of the evolution of this planet. So when they listen to it, they're part of the beginning and part of the restructuring of the new infrastructure of the planet, and assisting humanity in remembering who they are without even having to say a word.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. What is a truth that you came to Earth to protect?
That I came to Earth to protect. I don't know if I came to... Did I come to protect something? Well, I know that I came here in my truth and in my knowing that I came to bring heaven, to teach, to bring heaven to earth within humanity. Heaven to earth within humanity. And to bring forth the understanding of Gaia and who she truly is as our mother. And to protect her in that way, through creating and bringing people into the higher consciousness, so that they can remember that the whole reason you leave this earth and you leave that physical body behind is because it belongs to Gaia. Your spirit leaves. And so to protect the sacredness of the earth is what I'm going to say, because that's what I'm picking up with as I'm saying and getting the vision. The sacredness of the land, the sacredness of her spirit, her consciousness of who she is as our mother. And to protect, I'm going to say, because this is what they're showing me, the children. It's really interesting. The children. So as these new children are coming in, we need to protect them by allowing them to be who they truly are. That's the number one thing that we can do with protection. Without allowing
Beautiful.
anything to get in the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This last question was sort of a fun one for you, because you're so multidimensional and ninth dimensional and out there. And I wanted to ask you, what is the most human moment that you've had during this spiritual journey?
You know what? Because I have the cell memories of it, the most human moment was birthing my children. You can't get any more human than that.
More human, more messy, more chaotic.
That was extremely human. It's a gift for women to be able to do this. It's a sacred gift of bringing life into the planet, bringing that little soul in. It's an adventure along the way after they're birthed. But that was the most human. There's nothing, I'm going to say, there's nothing that can top that for me in my own personal. For men, I don't know, and because I'm a woman, but I know that when I was married for my ex-husband, that was like for him a very pivotal earthy moment for him as well. I can't talk on his behalf, but I saw it, I felt it. Mm-hmm. And that's where I'm gonna remain with that.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting that the most human moment that you had is also the most magical moment that you've had? Literally birthing life onto the planet is pure magic, and it all starts from source. And I'm just in awe of this conversation. I'm going to be going back and listening to that activation many, many more times, because I know how powerful it felt the first time around. So Keleena, thank you so much for this space, for creating such a sacred container, and just endowing us with all of the wisdom and knowledge that you hold. You're a walking star map and a code for all of us to remember ourselves. And I can't wait to just continue this unfolding of conversations and co-creations with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for allowing me to be within your space, within time. I love you dearly.
Love you too. And thank you for the rooster for being a part of this, a pivotal part of this conversation. Shout out to the rooster.
Woohoo!
Thank you.
Lots of love.
Lots of love.